day. It's just kind of like whatever we have available is, you know, I'll figure something out for it.
What did you stuff it with? Usually my dad makes those. He stuffs them with rice.
Nice. A bunch of different stuff. I kind of just made like I threw some different things into the food processor to kind of like grind it down, and then chopped up some chicken for it. So I did like onion, fresh garlic, celery. We have like a ranch wing sauce, like a chicken wing sauce.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought that'd be kind of a good, like, you know, buffalo wings / Mexican type sauce for it.
Sure.
And that was really good. And then rice and beans all together in there. But I think the beans are what threw off the moisture because they absorb so much. Yeah. So once I added those, it added a bunch more moisture that I didn't expect. But, yeah.
Still
there's a lot left though, so that's good because you know, weekend.
Just a reminder, turn down your audio. I can hear some echo.
Me?
I hear you echoing, so it might be low. He just has his head. Okay. He always has his headphones turned up too high.
It's because I'm old. I can't hear anything, man. Jeez.
Rub it in, why don't you? I mean, they're also massive, so they probably bleed a little bit.
These ones aren't the best for that, so that does make sense. I'm just wearing these because I usually wear the Sennheisers, but those squeeze the crap out of my head, and I'm just not feeling that today.
Well, it's funny because you keep them you keep it so loud, but then it has to go through your beanie and your dreads to get to your ears.
Normally I have my hair up. I don't know. That's probably
you feeling the Rastafarian look today.
Yeah. What can I say? What can I say?
Okay. Yep, that's there, and this is going to publish.
Okay, I'll start my recording.
Oh, Thomas, your beard is looking mighty fine, by the way.
Man, I just been feeling like shit, so I haven't been bothering with my appearance.
Well, your beard looks magnificent, so there's that.
It feels like
I trimmed mine down for interviews. I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
I know that feel.
Yeah.
I just wake up and I'm like, should I have a shower? Fuck it. And I just scrolling to work and the first one there, got my bed hair all over. Just some days I feel like a shower, so I take one and then I put beard oil in my beard and I'm like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Man,
I did that last week for an interview, and Brooke came home and was just sniffing my face. She's like, "Why do you smell different?" What is that? I'm like, "Get off my face! It's beard oil." But also, you can stand.
You got the beard oil too? Nice. The one I'm using...
my brother got me some as like when we were getting ready for the wedding.
Oh yeah.
You know, we went to the barber and did the whole proper grooming and everything, and he got me a bottle of it too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got some of that stuff I got from Christmas a couple years ago, and the one I'm using right now is Forest Ranger, so I smell like a forest.
Forest Ranger.
You don't smell like a forest ranger?
I hope not.
Probably like pine and a little booze mixed in your coffee.
Lord knows I could use some. Yeah.
Have some booze in the tea.
You guys ready to go?
Yep, I'm recording already.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast. Each and every week, friends gather around and talk about the shit that's going on in their lives and the games they've been playing. This week is Justin.
Let's get this over with. Me and Brooke are going to go watch that fish porn movie.
Wait, what?
Nice, you got him.
The Shape of Water. We're going to watch The Shape of Water. Also known as Grinding Needle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have that download. I need to watch it, but yeah, fish porn. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you a scaler? I think that's they call them.
No, there's not a name for that.
No, is it?
I'm sure there is.
Is it scaly?
There's furries. It's a scaly. Are you a scaly, Justin?
Yeah, it's called
Justin's
scaly.
Ben's a furry and Justin's a scaly.
There shouldn't be a name for that.
There totally is a name for it. I just learned that today.
You know there's a name for
that. Fish don't even reproduce like we do.
They got those mouths though, man.
Oh yeah.
And we also have Lo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Oh, I finally saw Black Panther.
Congrats.
Finally.
How did you enjoy your time with the Black Panther?
I did enjoy it. It was a cool movie. And like, I don't know, like usually I feel like with most superhero movies I could like find something like that I don't like about it, but I don't know. This one was pretty good. I mean, yeah, some of the humor was like, okay, whatever, but it was entertaining.
The extended shoe bit that didn't lead to anything.
The what?
The extended shoe bit that didn't lead to anything.
Oh yeah.
I thought like surely these stealth shoes are gonna be important. No.
They just wanted to show off the shoes. That was yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah. How come they didn't go anywhere with that? I was like, oh cool. They
like
made a big deal of it. What are those? And then it's like,
well, that's like the meme, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
it was probably
is.
cool to have that joke 2 years ago when they were making the movie.
Yeah.
Womp.
Yeah, Killmonger was cool. I saw you posing as Killmonger on Twitter.
Yeah, I need more of that.
Yeah, we need you to do some cosplaying for us.
It's
Do some
because...
body dysmorphia, you know.
Ugh, no thanks. I'll just I'll improvise. But some other way. But it's funny because I did that with my hair on accident, which then prompted me to take the picture and then tweet it because I had just taken a shower, so my hair was like kind of wet. So it's like, I don't know, my hair's weird. So like when it gets water on it, it's just really like, I guess, pliable for lack of a better term. So I was just kind of like sort of wringing it out. Then I like threw it over the front of my face and I was like, huh, I totally look like the dude. I'm gonna snap a picture right now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You've been playing any games over this past week?
Little bit of Gears of War Horde mode, but that's mostly it. I've been mostly just editing a lot of video. I have I have a few client videos I've been working on the last couple of weeks. I'm kind of in that, I call it revision purgatory, where it's like, oh, can we get another revision, just change this or just rearrange these clips or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem, because it's like usually like a quick thing, because these aren't very long videos that I'm working on, so it's usually like a quick change, so I'm pretty lenient as far as that kind of stuff goes. But now it's just like, it's funny because we started off wanting a 3 to 6 minute video. So I did a video that was 6 minutes, about 5 minutes 50 seconds. It's like, oh, can we add some more stuff? And I'm like, okay. So then it ended up being an 8-minute video. I'm like, okay, I thought you went 6 minutes, but whatever, cool. So then I sent them that. I was like, oh yeah, this is great, but it's a little too long now. Can we shorten it up? I was like, but okay. So then I dropped off 2 minutes and then it's back down to a 6-minute video. So then yeah, so now we're just working on the order of things now. So like once we get that wrapped up, it'll be donezo. So but yeah, it was just kind of a funny interaction. Like normally like I guess like years ago, like that kind of thing would just like driven me crazy, but I don't know. Usually I'm like working like a little bit closer with people, and like they're usually pretty chill too. So yeah. Like I said, other than Gears of War Horde mode, it's just Adobe Premiere, I guess. But also in Horde mode, people like, I went into it not knowing like what to expect really, and it was weird. It wasn't like what I was expecting. Like I usually expect like when everybody dies in like any kind of survival mode, you just like, that's it, you're done. But I guess it just like starts over from like the wave you left off on. So like at some point I was on like a full team. I had a full team of people. We got to like wave like 15 or something like that. It was just after like the boss wave. And then I was like, why is the game so hard all of a sudden? Like I know it just got harder like a few waves ago, but it feels like there's just a lot of enemies just coming at me. Then I looked at the player list and everybody's gone. They all just left. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So then I just quit too. I guess it's just kind of a thing. You just like quit whenever you want to, or just whenever you get points for it, just depending on how long you were in the game. But yeah, I just played a little bit of that just to kind of like relax my brain after all the editing and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing all week.
Justin.
A lot of random stuff here and there. I'm just trying to keep myself busy mostly. But I've been trying to more so like play things that are productive for videos and things like that. And so I've got a few things that are in the works right now. I've been testing the waters with a few different people to do a kind of a follow up to the Metroidvanias video that just went out with a list of Zelda clones. So I've been like I was making the list for that and like getting the games I wanted to do more than 10 and then kind of like narrow it down depending on who wants to be involved with what games. And so I've got that all out. I've been going to the people to try and get them involved and also like record the games that I'm planning on covering myself. So I won't talk about those to spoil it, but the Metroidvania video is out though, so check that out. And then I'm also been working on a Marvel Month video because the plan was to put it out around the time of Infinity War, but now Infinity War is coming out in April, and Marvel Month is always May. Like, I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now, and it's always been May, so I have to keep, this would be my 4th Marvel Month. Like, I have to keep it on May, so I guess I'll just time it with Deadpool instead.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, so I've been playing some old Marvel games because there really aren't any new Marvel games except Lego. And then a little bit of emulation stuff mostly. I've been playing through a lot of Dawn of Sorrow, like Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. I talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm almost done with it. I've been trying to go for 100% run of that, and it's hard. Like there's 3 different endings, if for those that don't know. And if you just like play the game normally and beat it like without going for any of the hidden stuff that like you can totally miss if you're not sure where it is, you get the bad ending. And essentially, it's just like you beat the bad guy, he gets sealed away. And it's like, okay, that's that problem solved. But someone else might still come along and cause more problems. But that's a problem for another day. Like that kind of generic.
Yeah.
And then if you beat him the correct way, like beat an optional boss to get a thing to go through it correctly, you get like essentially an extended version of that ending. Like you go down to kind of where like you would think a boss is, but it's really just like another cutscene. And again, the game can just end there. But if you like equip a certain item before you go in, it like stops like that ending from happening and like lets you continue on through like 2 new areas that gets you the actual like final boss and the full ending and everything. And so I've got like 97% of the map right now. I'm really not sure what I'm missing because I even looked it up and like my map looks exactly like that. So maybe there's just more stuff after what I think is the final boss that I'm on. But yeah, there's like 2 rooms I know I haven't been in because they're like locked away and there are really annoying like gold doors. You have to have like a specific amount of gold to get the door. And so like on my way to get to that door, I'll like, miss the number. So I'm like, oh, I have to go like all the way back around like to the
that sucks.
So yeah, I hate those and I'm just ignoring them. It's worthless items in there anyway. But I'm trying to get all of like the actual stuff, like the best ending, all of the optional bosses beaten, everything like that. Because I didn't think I'd done it before, but I'm on what I think is the final boss, and it looks real familiar. So I think when I originally played this game on DS, I actually did get the full ending, and maybe like I just, I pulled up my save again after getting the bad ending, and I was like, I feel like I'm not done. There's places I haven't been, and then just kept exploring. And eventually, like, worked my way into the final ending. But that's this time I'm using a guide just to help. And then I was testing out a few different things. Like I'm still trying to get stuff to work on my 3DS emulator because it's finicky. Like you have to have specific ROMs that are decrypted, and like supposedly they can only be decrypted on an actual 3DS. And so like if you don't find like the actual ROM of it online that's already decrypted, it'll just like when you try to pull it up in the emulator, it'll say like, this game must be decrypted before it'll work in the simulator. And so it's really frustrating. But last week, me and Ben were talking a little bit about Kirby Planet Robobot because like the new Kirby game came out and I haven't played it yet except for the demo. And he's like, "Oh, you have to play Robobot. Like I've heard it's like the best one. It's like way better than the new one is." And so I tried to download that because I missed it. Like I played Triple Deluxe and didn't really care for it. So I was like, Robobot's probably the same. It's the same engine. Like it's whatever. But yeah, I got a few versions of that, and all of them said they weren't decrypted yet. And I can't figure out how to decrypt ROMs, so I guess I'm not going to play that. But on my search, I found Kirby's Blowout Blast, which was like an eShop title that came out around the same time as Robobot, I think it was. that game is garbage. Like it's a top down. Like you can kind of move side to side, like more like the like Kirby's Dream Course and things like that back in the day. But it's a platformer still. But you're essentially going through and like you suck things in and like blow them at other people. There's no way to talk about Kirby without sounding dirty. He's just a dirty blob. But yeah, you like it's score based. So you're trying to like if there's like 3 enemies on screen or whatever, you're trying to get all 3 of them sucked in. So you like shoot out a bigger star at the enemies and like get more points or whatever. But there's no power ups from what I've seen. Like you don't get abilities or anything because it's top down. You can't even like squish yourself down to swallow something. You have to spit it back out.
Is Kirby Nintendo's sexiest mascot?
Oh, easily. I mean, that kid's got curves for days.
He's all curves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to ask because like
thick.
You can describe all the other Nintendo games without them sounding dirty. Like Kirby's the only one.
Yeah, it's real bad. But yeah, so like that's just a weird game. Like it doesn't feel like it should be a Kirby game. And like I imagine it's on some other game's engine because it doesn't play like any other Kirby game. But it was just like a little eShop title they threw out this year, like at the end of the 3DS life. So I don't imagine they would just like create this new thing just to put it. I don't know. It was a weird thing. I played like the first world of it, and like got all the way to the boss. I was like, maybe there's some differences as you go. No.
Was it a tree?
No, actually, it was like a because a tree would require powers, and it was just like a guy that like pushes a block in, and you have to like suck up his block and hit him with it. It's so dumb. But yeah, it was really repetitive and weird, and I didn't like it. And I've played a little bit more Majora's Mask 3D today. Let's see. I think that's actually about it because most of my time was spent going through some N64 games, which I think I also mentioned last week, and recording a bunch of those for a video I'm doing with VG Dad coming up, and then like checking into the different GameCube games. Well, there's a few GameCube games I should say that are on the Zelda list to see like, okay, do these hold up? Do I want to put them on the list? Finding some of the other games to make sure I can actually include them because if I haven't played them and like don't know if they're Zelda like, then because we talked about this a little bit last week, but like it's frustrating how like so many games are like Zelda clones, quote unquote, when really they just like they're hack and slash adventure games.
Yeah,
like Secret of Mana is on people's list of like favorite Zelda clones. That's its own thing. Yeah. So yeah, I just like I've been trying to actually go through these play through these games all week to make sure they're actually Zelda clones before I include them on the list. So yeah, we'd kind of talked about it last week when it was in concept form. Now I'm actually trying to narrow it down. But yeah, so it's been mostly like video related, like stuff I can't really talk about. But I've been playing a lot of things. I'll say that because I don't have anything else to do. So.
I was just thinking of asking you, what do you think of Metroidvanias as Zelda games? Because they're kind of similar concept of, except one you don't like. You have a map that you can clear out.
Reversing that, what do you think of Zelda games as Metroidvania games?
Whatever, vice versa. Because you get items that unlock other areas. You have maps that you can clear out completely. Like, what would be the difference there?
There's a key difference, and it's actually in the gameplay loop.
Okay.
Because yes, you get upgrades and get stronger in each as you go. Like that is, that's gaming 101, really. Like
yeah.
Even in Mario 64, you get new caps, you get new abilities that unlock things. But the thing about Zelda is, for one, you have more of a hub world. So like there's kind of branching off paths from one point that go to the different places. And also you're going into like a thing, like a specific place that has, different rooms, puzzles, an item that you get in that place, a boss that you complete using that item usually, a MacGuffin of some sort, like, the crystal, a page of a book, something like that, that you're collecting as you go. And then you leave that place and go to the next place. Okay. Whereas Metroidvanias are more like they can be non-linear, but it's the idea that you're just grabbing things as you go and then like backtracking to an area that you've already been to get to a new area. Plus, they're usually side scrollers. Like I don't like
true.
to consider Metroidvanias that aren't side scrollers, whereas Zelda is more top down. And I mentioned that in the video. Like, there's a fine line, and I think if you're going to, you know, like consider 3D Metroidvanias, you're basically talking about a Zelda game at that point. But yeah, the main distinction is that loop of like dungeons and getting items in the dungeons, and the you know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Collecting and bosses and things like that.
I figure I just throw the question out there to see what you had to say.
Because I mean, I do have to have criteria when I'm looking at this list, just like I did for the Metroidvania list. So I have been thinking about that, because there are a few games that have been brought up by contributors, and I would, you know, I'm like, I looked into that game because it was coming up on people's lists, and it seems more like just a 3D adventure game. Like, you know, there's nothing, it doesn't follow that specific Zelda loop, so I wouldn't necessarily include it.
Yeah, I know you have a history with saying Darksiders isn't a Zelda game, but
I've actually changed my stance on that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it does really open up, and it really does become more Zelda-like than God of War. Like, I dropped it because I thought it was not like God of War for the first, like, my first playthrough. And when I finally got to where it opened up,
to kind of look into it, like see if it does actually follow that loop.
Yeah.
And as soon as it talks about, like, you know, going to these different places to get things, I was like, okay, that I'm pretty sure. And then, like, another thing that kind of makes it more Zelda is like equipping items. Because with Metroidvania games, you're usually just getting stronger. Like, your move set is getting bigger. Whereas with Zelda, it's more like you're getting items that you equip to use in different situations. So like looking and seeing that screen of, like, you know, inventory. Like that's a big that's a big Zelda clone stick to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to like analyze this stuff though, like the differences between the genres.
Yeah, like break it down and like take a look at everything. Yeah, it is.
So was it the first one you were checking out? By the first one, I mean
Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders.
Yeah, the second one. The second one's maybe more like a Diablo type.
Yeah, it's apparently more open world. Like, they threw an open world in, like, the 11th hour of game development for that, so it just feels really empty, and like I haven't played it yet.
In there.
But yeah, it sounds like they basically took that same gameplay loop, but then threw an open world into it, so it doesn't feel as good. Like, it doesn't play as well. So I'm perfectly fine putting sequels over originals on the list without putting the original on the list if the sequel is better. But if it's not, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'll just move into what I've been doing this week. I got to see the Tomb Raider movie, guys.
Oh. What'd you think?
The new one. There's a new Tomb Raider out.
I want to see that.
I thought the first half was a lot stronger than the second half. Just because it was more like showing Laura is it Laura or Lara?
It's Lara.
Lara. Can I just say Lara?
I mean, she's English, so she's saying Laura. Like,
yeah,
Lara Croft.
Whatever. I'll just say whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
But no, like it kind of shows off like she's way more like independent, like smart, and like a little tough. Like, she gets into this a bike race with these like street toughs from London. And she like outcrafts them and all that. She's for a competition. But yeah, I thought the action sequences were pretty great. There's like stuff there that you just go straight up, like that's like from the video game. There's like this is like a really stupid sequence where she's on a boat and she has to like swing across this thing, and you're like, oh, that's like straight out of Tomb Raider. And it looks
you're
a little
just waiting for the button prompts
to
show up.
And it does look a little goofy, but like it does invoke the game. So I don't know. I kind of give it.
My favorite video game movie is legit Doom, and that has like a first person like down the hallway like extended sequence.
Yeah.
And I love it. So whatever. There's nothing wrong with evoking the game in a video game movie.
Yeah. And so like it looks a little goofy, but I give it a pass because it's a video game. Like it comes from the video game, so I'm like, oh yeah, that's super cool. Some of the dialogue gets really lazy at sometimes. They just like kind of just break logic in all sense of the word at points, and they just move from thing to thing just to keep the movie going. But like the action's good. There's the escaping the tomb is like really well done. Like if you've like when you get to the tomb room, they kind of cock tease you with it because you see it, and you think they're not gonna go inside, like they're gonna try and just like get out of the island. But no, you get in there, which is good. You can't have a Tomb Raider movie without exploring a tomb, right?
Yeah, you got to raid that tomb.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually well done. I thought some of the, like I said, some of the writing is really stupid towards the second half, especially once you're on the island and you meet some people that have been there for years and they don't sound like real people sometimes. It's a little, yeah, it's a video game movie, but it's probably the best one I've seen other than Mortal Kombat 2.
It looked pretty polished. That's true. I think Mortal Kombat might be my favorite video game movie. I don't even consider that a video game movie because it's just like it's a good movie. It's on Netflix and Amazon right now, by the way. It was added this month.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
Nice.
The first one is anyway. Sadly, Annihilation is not. I think that's a better movie, but really it's campier and dumber, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's spoilers. We can, we can pause for a second, but you know that the part in that first trailer that's like really cheesy at the end with like Nick Frost, you don't know people, with her like having guns and like having that sassy line.
Oh yeah.
When does that happen?
That happens in the Stinger.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like they ruined the Stinger in the first trailer. I assumed that's what it was.
Yeah, she doesn't get those until the Stinger. Yeah.
They could have left that out entirely. It's so stupid.
Yeah, really. Like that's the whole point of a Stinger is to have that scene, right?
Right.
But you show it. It's like, you don't need to come to this movie anymore. You already seen it. It's like,
it's like it felt so totally different from everything else. I was like, clearly this doesn't happen on the island. I assume she spends most of the movie on the island. So like, when does this happen?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Cool. There's some people in there that I thought did a good job. Like the drunk captain of the boat that she gets on did a pretty good job.
Asian guy?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he apparently. Oh man, what's this movie? What's this TV show called? It's on Netflix now. I was talking to you guys about that before, but I don't know if you guys saw it.
Into the Badlands? Is he that guy?
Yeah, it's the first season's on Netflix. Apparently, he's into that show. I was told, and my friend said,
"So is Nick Frost.
Watch it." Yeah, that's what I've heard too. So
I added that to my list a few days ago, I think.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out this weekend and see what it's like.
I saw one random episode because I was too lazy to get up after Walking Dead one night, and it seemed cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, sometimes you can discover new shows that way. Just like, too lazy to
it's true.
do anything. Hey, this show's actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was playing the Switch or something while like watching Talking Dead, and then that ended, and I was still playing. So I'm like, I'll just sit here.
Hey, that works.
Yeah. But for video games that I've been playing, I did get a chance to play one match of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the mobile version.
Chicken?
And I did come in second place. I didn't get the chicken. No chicken.
You lost to a bot.
No chicken to go for you.
I actually didn't even see who I lost to because it doesn't have the death cam in the mobile version. Yeah.
I mean, it's like all bots right now. It sounds like.
I've heard that it's some bots, not all bots. But yeah, like I don't know. I like that game. Like it's like it still has the tension in it. My breakout moment of that game that I had was it was closing in. There was only 2 other people left, and so I just bolted out of the door. And then on my right side there was a guy just blasting him with a shotgun, and I just kept running, which was fun.
Nice.
I think it does a good job of like bringing the PUBG experience to mobile. Like there's a lot of assists in that game. There's like auto pickups and auto equips for some of the like attachments and the guns and stuff. So that's fairly well done because you don't have to mess around with your inventory because like messing around with the UI, like a touch screen inventory while you're afraid to get shot at is kind of, it takes that out of it. So like it gives you the assist on that.
It just feels too hard to do anything quick in that game. And when you're dealing with virtual controls, like, if you see someone coming in real quick and you're like, oh crap, I gotta kill them. It's like, oh nope, my aim is off. Like, I gotta hit a button to shoot. Like,
well, I had that, like I said, I had that one quick moment where there was just a guy on my immediate right, and I just had to turn real quick and shoot him. And there's also 2 shots, like 2 shot buttons. So there's one on the left, one on the right. You could change that if you want, but it's really useful when you like if you just want to move and shoot or look and shoot. So you're not restricted to just one side for shooting.
Yeah, but you still can't move, look, and shoot at the same time.
I I don't know. I don't know if I've done
You
that.
end up wasting a lot of ammo because like you can just hit the button and then like aim, but it kind of keeps firing. I was doing it accidentally.
Yeah, I did 1 or 2 shots accidentally. Like your fingers can easily touch the buttons. But yeah, there's like a lot. I like the sense, like all the different options for it, the sensitivities. Like you can change the sensitivities on all the different scopes, and
it just
looks like it does a good job of bringing it to it. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're still dealing with a mobile version of a game, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
And like really, if you're out on the go, like what are you gonna play? Player unknowns on your data plan?
Oh,
that seems real reliable.
I have a 10 gig data plan, so.
Well, yeah, but like just connection.
I'll probably just play this like maybe while I'm editing the podcast, or if I'm at work and I have my lunch, I'll have one quick match or two. If I need to play a game, but yeah, like it's decent.
True. I mean, like work breaks and stuff, I guess would be a good way to do that.
Yeah. I don't think we have Fortnite on Android, so I might check that out when it goes mobile.
No, not yet.
But yeah, it's decent. It's not trash, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Fine, it's okay.
It plays as well as the PC version, so there's that.
It might play better than the PC version depending on your PC.
True. It plays better than the Xbox version, no matter what your Xbox.
Oh, sick burn. Yeah, it's actually kind of smooth, at least with my experience. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I'm running on the Pixel 2. You can't really get like, better performance than on the Pixel 2. But like I didn't notice any issues.
Yeah.
Nice.
But okay, so I played a couple of rounds of that. I finished off Fractured Butthole from South Park. That's a pretty good game. I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time visiting South Park.
You finished fracturing that butthole?
Yeah, boy. There's actually a line in that game that we're I don't know. I don't know if I want to spoil it or not, but they actually say fractured butthole. It's just pretty great. Yeah, I enjoyed that. There's DLC. There's a couple DLCs out. There's like story stuff. I might check that out. Apparently, there's like new classes in that I could play with. But the whole conceit of the game is that there's it plays like a tactical RPG. So if you ever played like I guess Final Fantasy Tactics, but I said on a little bit more limited scope. Like the maps usually in Final Fantasy Tactics are a little bit bigger than what you have here, like the area to move. And it's more of a grid system, kind of like the Mega Man Network games, but instead of like being limited to only one side, you can move around the whole thing. Yeah, there's a wide cast of characters. Wendy shows up as Call Girl, which is kind of cool, and she's the only female superhero. And they kind of make a point. It's like, I wish there was more female superheroes. Yeah, there's like really great jokes. There's like battle. They do the thing again with the battles, like the boss battles. Like there's certain conditions to some of them, like to win, like knocking people into pits or whatnot. There's a really great. Like they get into the really good stuff that South Park does, like talking about like race and like self-identification and stuff like that. There's some stuff in there that's from the newer seasons, like PC Principal. I don't know that character at all, but he seems kind of cool or he seems like a good character from what I've played. But there's a lot of stuff from the older episodes and even the movies, like Kenny's like one of Kenny's special abilities is stripped straight from the what is it, the movie when he goes up to heaven. Greeted by all the titty ladies, and then he goes back down.
That is an old school reference.
That's an old school reference. Yeah, there's some old school stuff.
The movie came out what, in like '98 or something? 2000 maybe?
Yeah, something like that, like 2000. But yeah, like South Park's been around for a long time. Me and my friend have been talking about it. We're like, South Park is like 20 something years old. 20. I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I was thinking of returning the game and just so I get my money back because I'm cheapskate. But I figured I'm gonna stick with it and just play the DLCs when they come out because it seems interesting. You guys have any questions about South Park? No,
Not really.
No.
It's a little bit more. The gameplay is actually a little bit more interesting than the first game because the first game was kind of just like a regular, like an old school Final Fantasy game where you just select your attacks. This one's a little bit more. There's a little bit more to it. Like you have to get your positioning right and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's South Park, and I spent a lot of time playing South Park. It's like a 25-hour game. So kind of just played that all week. I played a little bit of XCOM 2. It's like XCOM. Played a little bit of Okami HD. It seems okay. The voices were really annoying, so I turned off the voices.
Oh, I need to do that. I was trying to like skip them, but you can't skip them.
Yeah, you can't skip them. There's only certain instances where you can make the dialogue go a little bit faster because it scrolls really slow. I can't increase the scroll speed.
Oh, what?
So
That killed it for me. Like,
yeah.
I love that game, but I couldn't handle the speeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Turning off the dialogue was like key. I was like, I can't do this. Like, it's the Banjo-Kazooie style of. I was gonna say dialogue. Yeah, but it's really annoying. But then I also tried Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves, that's a game that came out this week. I've played maybe an hour or two of it, and that's not a game you want to play alone. Yeah, you kind of just boot it up, and then like there you go, that's it. There you are. And
yeah, I kind of wondered if that was just the beta or if that's the game.
That's the game.
Sounds like that's just the game.
That's the game. It's like a Rust type of thing, or an Ark type of thing, where you just appear in the world, and then off you go. You do your pirating. There's a couple factions that you can accept quests from. You can go do the quests and then hand in the loot to get your gold and your faction stuff to upgrade and unlock other cosmetics in the world. My time with it was the first day I couldn't get into a server because the servers were overloaded. Finally got in. I spent too much time on the starter island looking at other people and seeing what's going on. Another person spawned in and just kept killing me because I don't know, I guess he found that fun. So I turned off the game. And then the second time I booted it up, I sailed out. It was a really beautiful looking game. I killed some skeletons. I had some laughs. I had a skull. I met up with another pirate, tried to outrun him. He had the same ship as me, so I couldn't outrun him. And so he kept circling around me. I shot cannonballs at him. He wouldn't go away. He crashed his ship into mine. I fell over. And I was like, I had one skull. That's all I had, was just like one skull to hand in. And I couldn't hand it in anymore because he sunk my ship. So I just swam out in the ocean and got eaten by sharks. And I lost my skull. And so I couldn't hand it in. And this game is really amazing as a single thing. I don't know. Not to mention with the fact that, like, granted, I do have a really crappy spot where my Xbox is for Wi-Fi. So some of the connection stuff I had a little bit of issue with. Like, there was like lag on it. So I would run a little bit and all of a sudden I was in a different spot. You know, one of those things. So that sucked. I feel like this is a better game to watch people play and then rather play it. If you have a crew of 4 people, maybe that's fun. If you want to get like role play as a pirate that's an asshole. But yeah, like I'm gonna try matchmaking with other people and see if I have a better time with it. But yeah, there's nothing there if you want to play a single player game with it.
It has crossplay, right?
Yeah, it does. Like you can get on PC and play with Xbox. But yeah, like I don't care. Like I'll try the matchmaking, see if it's a better time. But yeah, I don't have any friends that are on Xbox that want to play Sea of Thieves. I have like one friend on Xbox, and he's like, "No, dog, I'm playing this crappy Batman game. I'm like, okay, have fun. You know which one I'm talking about when I say crappy Batman game. It's Arkham Knight.
Oh.
I mean, it could be Arkham Origins.
I'd rather play Origins over Knight, honestly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Having not played Origins but played Knight, I'd probably rather play Origins.
Oh yeah, one thing with South Park, it actually turns into a completely different game at one point. It turns into like Flappy Bird mixed with Robot Unicorn Attack, which is pretty cool.
No way.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There's also Gay Fish. He's in there. And when you talked a little bit earlier at the opening, that's all I could think about was Gay Fish. Oh yeah, there's really cool. Huh?
Fish sticks?
No, there's actually a character called Gay Fish, and he's like he's basically Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the joke. Cause like, oh, you like fish sticks?
There's like a literal character named Gay Fish, and he's like Kanye. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a different thing.
But you're a gay fish then. You like fish sticks.
Yeah. Another cool aspect of South Park. I like South Park a lot. I love playing that game. You can take selfies with people. So like the whole thing of that is like you're upgrading your. It actually like ties into the whole story and everything. Like even your parents' backstory is you can take selfies with people and you gain like millions of followers. So you just like it's a really neat thing that you're just collecting all these different characters from South Park as your followers.
Watch Dogs 2 did it.
Yeah, but this is South Park. It's cooler. I took a selfie with Jesus. Okay.
I'm sure there's a homeless person dressed up like Jesus in Watch Dogs 2.
Named Jesus.
Probably.
Anyways.
Did you can take pictures with like strippers and homeless people and stuff, and they react to you.
Yeah.
Like, you put it on your social media feed or whatever, and then they're like, "Really? Why would you do this? Delete your account." Like, you can hear the commentary while you're taking the picture of like, "Get away from me! I don't want to be in your picture," but like, you take it anyway.
Nice.
That's a good game. I need to play that again.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my game playing. That's my game playing. I just picked up A Way Out, so me and Lo might play that. They have like this thing called Friends Pass, that if a friend of yours wants to play the game, they don't have to buy it. They could just join your game and play it. It's pretty cool.
I wasn't interested in that game or anything. It's not like I have a lot of free time, you know. I'm super busy.
I think you should play with Justin. It sounds like he'd
No,
a little bit more than I would.
Okay. I mean, I could play with both of you guys, but I figured me and Lo might do a feature or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that with me or anything.
Thomas and Justin escaped from prison.
We don't do anything together. I mean, it's not like we ever play games together.
We played Destiny this last weekend.
Yeah.
We finished the Destiny.
And that was a terrible time for you, I'm sure.
It was fine. I know you're just being sassy, but I could do both. There's enough room for Thomas for both of you.
That wasn't a sentence. This is the kind of quality commentary I'd have if we played a game together, because maybe I don't want to anymore.
Oh, we'll do it earlier when I'm more awake.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go. That's all the games and stuff I've been playing. Anything else you guys want to talk about? No.
No, I don't really do much. I cook, but we've talked about eating a lot lately.
Eating is good. I like eating.
Turns out people like eating. Who knew?
Yeah, food is good.
I love food.
Food is good.
Food is good.
Justin, where can the people find your stuff?
I am at Zero Score on the internet, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Final Fantasy IX is still going. Season 1, or disc 1 basically, will be done by the time this goes live. There'll be a brief break between disc 1 and 2 because I'm still working on that. You'd think with how much time I have, I'd be like super caught up, but no. I was just playing games. I kind of forgot that I didn't have any of disc 2 edited, at least as far as the voices being put in is concerned. And then, like I said, the top 10 list of Metroidvania games that Lo is a part of, as well as Ben. He's never with us anymore, but Ben is in it too. That is out and live for you guys, so check all that stuff out, and there'll be more stuff coming because I've got plenty of time to work on things.
Lo.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Near the Hero, N3R0THEH3R0. You can also find me on YouTube at Near the Hero, just with letters and stuff. I upload videos every so often. You can also find me here every week with the Charge Shot Boys, because that's how we roll. Also, just side tangent, just as Justin was talking about Final Fantasy and discs and whatnot, how cool would it be if there was like a show based on a video game, but instead of saying season, they said disc instead of season? I just thought that'd be a cool thing to do. Anyways, that's where you can find me.
I mean, I've been calling them acts anyway, because it feels like, you know, it's very play oriented, like this one is, and so it's Final Fantasy 6. That's why I did acts for that too. But so yeah, I'm thinking of it more like a play narrative, but people don't always know what acts mean, so it's just
Right.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, here at charshot.com. You could also email me, Thomas at charshot.com. I've got a Twitter. It's CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can also...
I have a Twitter.
Yes, I have a Twitter. Man. Did you guys see that sliced ketchup stuff that I posted there?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's so gross.
Sounds awful.
They call
it's
it
like ketchup flavored fruit by the roll up, or fruit by the foot, basically.
Yeah, but it's like
That's
physical sliced ketchup that you just lay on something, and then there you go, ketchup.
Why? That's
It's
not how
monstrous.
it's supposed to go.
Oh,
That's
your
not
ketchup's
how it's
supposed to
work.
be everywhere, and it oozes out the sides and gets everywhere. It's perfect.
What kind of
Don't touch
monster
ketchup.
would create solid ketchup? That's like
Right.
It's
Plus,
like
you don't put ketchup on your food anyway. You just use it for potatoes.
I put ketchup on everything. I mean, maybe it's a Canadian thing, but I put
It's a
ketchup on
Canadian.
everything.
I personally don't put ketchup on things, but like if I order something and ketchup comes on it, I'll be like, all right, cool.
Well, yeah,
But me,
same.
like me, usually I'm gonna put ketchup on this. Usually, I'll put ketchup on the side, like if it's something else. But
I put ketchup
Yeah.
on my eggs, man. That shit tastes good.
No.
do you?
So good.
No.
He's one of those.
You're the worst.
He's one of those.
We got him. Calling the dogs. The ketchup and egg sniffing dogs.
Yeah, specifically.
Specific dog.
Yeah. There's one. It's a pug.
Oh, cute
The
pug.
service pug. But no, like ketchup is only for potato products. Like I have a theory here. Like if like you said, if it's on my like my fast food burger or something, I won't scrape it off or ask for it not to be on there. But like if I make something, I put like mayonnaise, mustard, and pickle. Like that's all that belongs on any sandwich really. But like tater tots, fries, like I guess that's waffle fries. Really just forms of fries, I guess.
Waffle fries.
Great with ketchup. I don't know. That's really it. Brooke would disagree with me.
I used to have just bacon sandwiches, and I would just put ketchup on that.
What? So you're basically making like a really cheap BLT.
There's no L or T. It's just B.
The T is implied by the ketchup.
Yeah, I mean ketchup is tomato supposedly.
At some point, there was something that was a tomato. At some point, in ketchup.
Right.
I guess you could say that. But yeah.
So basically, what we're saying is ketchup is a fruit. Good night, guys.
With that, and I guess we'll just end the podcast there. Good night, guys, and enjoy your games. I don't know.
Goodbye,
know.
everyone.
Ketchup's
Selling
a fruit.
ketchup is an obstruction of justice or something. I don't know.
Ketchup is amazing. We have ketchup. We have ketchup chips here, man, and they're my favorite chip.
Yes.
That also sounds strange.
It's so good.
That episode
Strange.
officially needs to be called "Ketchup is a Fruit." By the way.
Ketchup is a fruit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You ready, Lo?
Yes, I was born ready.
Okay.
I was born premature.
I was born with a ketchup bottle in my mouth.
Talk about immaculate conception.
What's the deal with immaculate conception? That's like twice in a row.
I don't know.
One last week, one this week. I don't know.
Condiment conception.
There we go. Now we're talking. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Video Game News and News Show, hosted by your host, Thomas. And...
Wow. Oh, sorry. I was distracted by your high-energy intro.
I'm trying here.
This is Justin, by the way.
Awesome.
Dubs.
And Lo, how you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm trying to stay awake, and it's only 9:55 p.m. My bedtime was an hour ago.
It's Friday. Live a little.
It was that pizza I ate earlier. It's just making me fall asleep, man. It's rough.
That's why you gotta stick to your diet.
Yeah.
Should've
Fridays are my
eaten
cheat days.
Eat half the pizza, see how you feel. If you still feel like you can champion through it, go for it. If not, just do the rest for later.
I don't have that
See,
self-control.
The way you gotta do it, well, no one cares about news. The way you gotta do it is you take like 1 or 2 pieces, and then you have to like justify like, is it worth the effort of getting up to get more? If you
There
just
you
have
go.
an entire pizza box in front of you, of course you're gonna eat it all. It's right
Dude,
there.
look at this.
You gotta
It's
put
like-
a step in between.
No one on the audio podcast can see it, but it's like literally like not even a foot away from me.
Right, that's your problem.
People said that with alarm clocks, and I would just walk up, turn it off, and walk back to my bed.
If that pizza was downstairs and you had 2 pieces with you, would you have gone down and eaten the whole thing?
Yes. I have no self-control.
All right, what do you got for us this week?
All right, we got EA is hiring for an open world Star Wars game. Basically, what this is there was a listing for a lead to lead a team to deliver online features for a Star Wars open world project. So basically, what they're doing here is reworking that Visceral Games game that they were making and making it an open world. Sounds like persistent online game. But yeah, this is an update to that.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was news. Like that's been known. I guess it's just the fact that like EA is like now working on an open world game, and it's not just because it kind of I thought that was already established. I don't know. I guess it was just rumored.
I have no idea, but there was like job listing listed for it. So yeah, EA back at it with Star Wars. They'll put this in here. Really small piece of news is Chucklefish's Magic School game has finally got a name. And what do you guys think of the name called Witchbrook? Literally all we have is a name.
I mean, it's kind of generic.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, so was what was it? I don't even remember
Stardew
honestly.
Valley?
Spellbound.
Spellbound.
Because it's the same developers that made Starbound, so they were kind of calling it Spellbound because it's like that same thing, but you know, magic-y. But this just, I don't know. This feels like another version of generic.
It's actually really funny that we're talking about generic names because this same developer, Chucklefish, actually played a game a few weeks back by them. It's called, get this, it's called Treasure Adventure World.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's a remake. It's a remake of Treasure Adventure Game. So, I guess they just have like this thing for generic ass game names or something. But you know, it's a pretty cool game, the Treasure Adventure World game. It's a neat. The graphics are all pretty and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just something that they do. They just make games with generic names or something. But
all the creativity is in the game, not in the name.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
so.
no less excited for the game because of this name, but it just feels, I don't know, kind of bland. And especially because there's that other witch game that's coming out. Was it like Witchfire or something? That cool first-person one?
Oh, yeah. That weird, was it Quake looking? Or no, Painkiller looking kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I always kept misreading this as Witch Book, and that's possibly a little bit better, but I don't know. Who knows? All we have is a name. We're just speculating about a name.
What they really should have done is called it Spellbrook.
Is that a reference to something?
It's like Spellbook. Also, it was originally called the working title was Spellbound. So they'd be shifting.
Oh, I get it now.
Just a play on words and also more similar to their original title. Hire me, Chucklefish.
You know what also would have been good?
Fishes.
Fish.
would be cool if this game was based in a library and the main character is a witch slash detective and she's trying to figure out which book murdered the mayor of.
What is happening? That was the worst sentence of what I said on the other show.
I'm gonna quote Beyonce. I've been drinking.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta let low go, you know.
Just let me just let me go.
Just let it flow. Just let low flow.
Okay.
And yeah,
I lost it after which book?
just go with the low.
I'm just gonna go and do another different news story.
Yeah,
Go with the low.
transition.
SimCity creator Will Wright announces a new game called Proxy. There was a trailer released. Says here, I haven't read this news story.
It's Inside Out. It just you don't need to read the news story. He's making Inside Out the game.
Okay, but like
Basically, like what all this is it's essentially SimCity, but like you're building worlds that like are based on like the like dreams and like wishes and like emotions of the people that live there. So like let me find an actual direct quote about it.
So basically, you start with like a tabula rasa, and you can pick like different memories as their building blocks and build from there.
Yeah, it says players will have a blank world that they can develop by using memories as their building blocks. Players can choose any topic they want, like family adventures, and place it into the world, creating islands of interconnected memories that will form into 3D worlds over time. They made friggin' Inside Out the game.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool though.
I mean, it's cool, but
Yeah.
it's like he was like the king of simulation games, and now
Yeah.
he's just like, here's something you already know and love.
They don't do simulation games all that often anymore.
They don't.
No.
And he hasn't been doing well with, like, I think there just hasn't been demand for it, like, after Spore.
Yeah.
Spore was the big thing that, like, burned out fast.
Mm-hmm.
Really, because only, like, 1/4 of that game was actually good, and that was the creation element, because there was just nightmare fuel for days in that game.
All I heard was like dicks everywhere, and
Yeah. And, like, people actually making, like, accurate Pokemon in it, which was really cool.
oh, that's cool.
But then once you actually play it, it's kind of generic, so... Yeah, it's just like I think he's trying to get back to his roots, but like have a new version of it. It doesn't help this is a mobile game.
Oh,
but-
it looks like a mobile game from him.
Yeah, it's pretty mobile. But I don't know. This feels like SimCity mixed with Inside Out. Like there's nothing really creative about it. So it's a shame, but I probably wouldn't play it anyway because it's a mobile game.
Yeah, I guess it's just because of my job. I'm starting to get into mobile games again. Like I said, I'm playing a little bit more PUBG. I got Knights of the Old Republic on my phone. I was like, oh, if I need like
Really?
a long ass
What?
RPG, I'll just play that on my phone, I guess.
I didn't know that was on phones. That seems ridiculous.
It's crazy, right?
Does it work? Like, how does it play? It's like the full MMO.
It's a little
thing, right?
weird,
Like,
but it works.
huh.
The other thing I got was roller toaster tycoon.
Oh, I love that game.
I want that game.
Yeah.
I don't care about roller coaster. Give me roller toaster tycoon. Dude, the Mario Kart killer, roller toaster.
No, it's like an Angry Birds on wheels. You fling your toaster, and then like you launch the toast at the ramp at the correct time to cause destruction.
Oh boy.
I
Roller
like that.
toaster. Yeah.
Launch your toaster into like a tower of bread. Ooh.
Well, you don't launch the toaster. You roll the toaster, and then when it gets to the key point, you shoot the toast for maximum distance.
It's like a Hot Wheels ramp.
Yeah, kind of.
I see.
It's a Hot Wheels ramp, but with a toaster.
I like that.
This is
I like
nonsense.
this idea. I want this game.
I'm just gonna move on to something else.
Oh, hey, look!
transition.
EA is making Roller Toaster Tycoon.
Oh,
What a
no.
coincidence!
Breaking
it's gonna be
news.
full of microtransactions.
Oh,
Oh,
it's just cosmetic toasters, though.
it's just loot boxes for cosmetic toasters.
It's just skins for your toaster and for your bread.
And there's also the this is avocado toast expansion.
Oh no. I hate this already.
Sorry, Lo was taking a drink.
What am I doing?
That was brilliant. That was funny.
Well, if Ubisoft made this game, their stock prices would go up. Speaking of Ubisoft,
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
like that one?
All right.
I thought it was pretty good. I'll clap it up for you.
So for Ubisoft, Vivendi sells their entire stock of Ubisoft shares. So yeah, like there was I think we covered it when it was first happening-ish. That Vivendi was buying up shares of Ubisoft, looking for a takeover, like a hostile takeover. They had like 25% of the stock at one point. So yeah, they sold off all their stock. They sold above what they paid for, so it actually increased the worth of the stock the day after they sold it all off. Which,
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Is Vivendi even doing anything though?
Vivendi is just like a conglomerate. They just have stakes in other companies and make money that way.
Well, because they used to be a developer, weren't they?
I don't think so, no. Like I think they had stocks in companies that had that were making stuff. I don't think they were making anything.
I swear, like their name would pop up before games, because wasn't like it was like Vivendi Activision for a while. That was like
I think they had
before a lot of games.
Yeah, I think it was before Blizzard, right? But yeah, I think they just had like a big stake in Activision. But yeah, they sold it off. The Guillemot brothers, the founders of Ubisoft, agreed to acquire 2.7% of the capital from the agreement. Brings the family stake in Ubisoft to 18.5%, and share capital and 24.6% voting rights. So they kind of have they have almost a quarter of voting rights now. I just want to break down some of the other people that have bought shares. So yeah, so some other people that were part of this sell-off was the Ontario Teachers. Now they own 3.4% of Ubisoft
Ontario
Capital.
Teachers.
Yeah, Ontario represent.
That's interesting. Teachers specifically. That's interesting. Teachers part.
I think it's more of, it's not just like individual teachers. It's Ontario Teachers. It's like
I'm just gonna assume it's individual teachers that
okay.
now have a stake in Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You know, Ubisoft, a game company that's run by a bunch of teachers from Canada. Don't buy any games from them.
No.
What do they even teach in Canada? It's all just roller toasters and ketchup.
Solid ketchup. Ketchup sheets.
The ultimate games.
Like some kind of lunatic.
I hear they toast their ketchup sheets.
Ugh.
That sounds gross. Oh my god.
I hear their milk comes in bags too. Something
Yeah. Who taught them how to do that?
I'm gonna get Jacob back on this podcast. I'm the only Canadian that was ever on here, other than Zenith, I think. But anyways,
yeah.
And then the Chinese internet giant Tencent will have a control of 5% of the capital, and they actually Tencent has agreed not to transfer its shares. An increase in ownership or voting rights, so they won't have ownership or voting rights. They just own 5% of the stock.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Really, Tencent coming in everything.
What?
Yep, there you go. I'm not gonna take it back. We're just gonna keep on rolling.
No takebacks.
Yeah, no takebacks.
I mean, they're a Chinese company, so I guarantee they're not. They have a strict 2-kid limit.
Do they even? I thought it was one kid, but yeah.
Well, if the first one is a girl, I think they have another one to have a boy.
Okay.
And if they have a boy first, then they quit.
You know way more about Chinese democracy than I do.
Because there was a time when they were like hiding them in bread baskets down the river, because they didn't want to have to basically submit their kids for the. I don't know. It was a weird time. I don't remember at all, and I don't want to misquote or anything. But
Okay.
It was a long time ago. They've loosened up a lot.
speaking of not misquoting things, I don't know. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remasters are no longer happening. How long did that take? Like a week?
Yeah, we were talking about it last week, so yeah.
That was
like
literally...
barely a week. It was supposed to happen by what? Realtek VR. They're no longer remastering the 3 Tomb Raider games for the PC. So shit out of luck. I was kind of looking forward to it because I actually have the games. I just want to see what the differences would be. But yeah,
I mean, it sounded like it was basically just like a port of the mobile versions, which didn't really look that remastered.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just get the mobile versions. You like mobile games now.
Yeah. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Speaking of things that I don't like, Smash Brothers. Nintendo is holding the Smash Brothers Switch tournament in June.
I don't accept that transition.
You got something to say about Smash and fighting game stuff?
Well, the only reason that this is newsworthy is because it is like they've confirmed it's the Switch version of Smash, like whatever that means. So the first, obviously, it'll be shown off more at E3 anyway, but like it'll be playable to some of the public. Like there's actually going to be a tournament, just like they had with Splatoon and Splatoon 2, at E3. But the reason I think this is newsworthy, like that is by itself. But like when they did the Splatoon 2 tournament before Splatoon 2 came out, people realized that, oh, okay, this is basically just like, this is the same engine that Splatoon was running in, so it's very familiar to us. There's just some new stuff in it. So I think that confirms that this is actually going to be based on the Smash 4 engine, even though it will be considered a new game. Because if it's a completely new game with all new physics and everything new, like, how are you really going to do a tournament of that? No one's going to be familiar with it. But if they're already familiar with the Smash 4 physics and everything, and it's just like a new game in that engine, like, new stages and enough new stuff that makes it feel like a new game, then you can jump into a tournament and it doesn't feel too new. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of my theory, but it seems pretty substantiated by the fact that they're doing a tournament. There's gonna have to be enough shown off, like from here, to make a tournament worthwhile. And they've always kind of like, they've just teased out little bits of Smash information on the go. And if they're going to have enough stuff in the roster and, in the stages and everything like that, at E3, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of new stuff to tease before the game comes out, probably this fall. So I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be cool. Like, I'm excited because I honestly thought we'd just maybe get like another character trailer and that's it. But there's going to be like gameplay footage out the wazoo for this game if there's a tournament. So that should be cool. That's it, really.
The Atari VCS is coming.
This should have been speaking of things you don't care about. But,
Okay. I don't know anyone cares about this. So
it looks like garbage. Those controllers look like they took $5 to make.
Yeah, they look really shitty. So the Atari box that we were talking about before, the crowdfunded one, I don't think it's no longer being crowdfunded. I don't see any mention of it in this article. But it's coming out. It's called the Atari VCS. I don't even know if it is coming out, honestly, but here we are.
Yeah, it sounds like they've majorly cut down the specs and everything, and they probably developed it internally, like for a budget they could handle just to get it made. But they were hyping it up as some essentially a next gen like console replacement, and now they're just kind of saying like, calm down, it's an okay laptop. So yeah, they're probably developing it internally and making it for cheap.
Yeah, it says it's going to be running a custom version of Linux. VCS will have it says it'll have console-like interface aimed at being accessible to inviting a wider non-gaming audience. It also comes with some classic Atari arcade games, none specifics, and have its own store to buy games that aren't just retro, but modern titles as well. It's going to be priced between $250 and $300. Honestly, this kind of just sounds like an Android TV, but
I mean, it's Linux.
Yeah, but Linux. Well, our Android is based on Linux.
Yeah, but it's not as open.
Yeah.
I mean, like it is, but it's open in different ways. Sorry, is what I meant.
Yeah. Because Linux is open. Yeah, I don't know who this aims for. Like when they say modern games, like modern titles, they haven't listed anything specific. So what is that? Just gonna be like modern mobile games, or?
I mean, it also says it doesn't have dedicated graphics.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be able to handle much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's going to be for like indie games, which it doesn't even have access to the Steam store, so it's only going to be what's in their store anyway. They basically said if you want access to the Steam store, that's going to be one of those things where like advanced users can get past their like interface to access full Linux and then install Steam that way. They're full on saying like, you know, we understand that that you have to essentially back boot a lot of the stuff that isn't available in here, but you can if you're able to. So it's just weird. I don't know what this is for. It's probably for the same people that like will get the, you know, the SNES Classic and then like just mod it to put every SNES game on it.
I guess.
It's those people that just like want the devices to play everything on, like that they can just use to put their emulators and stuff on, and have a dedicated device.
I don't know.
Just fine. But there's cheaper ways to do it. This thing's like a $250 thing that isn't even that great. I mean, they're saying it's an okay laptop. You can get an okay laptop for $200.
Can you?
Right.
You can get a laptop that could probably run the same stuff this can.
Okay. Yeah,
And also
laptops
do
here are
more.
like 500 minimum, but I guess that's the difference between Canadian and American dollars.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, I imagine the specs on this, like, just as a game player, would be better than a, you know, $200 to $300 laptop. But I'm just saying, like, compared to what you could do with it, like, it doesn't seem worth it for that money.
Yeah. Honestly, like, this thing just seems more like an Android TV, which you can just boot shit up and play mobile games, or watch your favorite shows and movies off Kodi, which you could probably put on this.
I can't figure out Cody.
Kodi's.
I'm too dumb.
I'll hook you up, bro.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. PUBG has a new map. Details inside. What did you think of the new map? It's supposed to be a little bit smaller, 4x4 instead of, I think it's usually 8x8. So like half the size.
So, like, Fortnite map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very bright.
Yeah.
Those
This is their
colors,
Fortnite
though,
map.
The saturation has been significantly boosted. Looks like it was inspired by something that already a
If you remember, they said the next map was going to be the snowy map, which apparently it still is, but like now they're suddenly showing off this one that's a direct Fortnite competitor map. Sounds like they're kind of moving things around to rush this map out before the snowy one.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me just pull up the other article.
And it's
that's
fine.
PUBG.
I personally, like, the reason I don't play Fortnite, I mean, I don't really play either of them anymore because I get kind of burnt out on that loop because you don't really progress to anything. I'm trying to beat more games, not just like waste time playing something that, you know, you don't really get a reward for. But the reason I don't play Fortnite, even when it was first out and I was kind of curious about it, is because I didn't like how small the map is. It feels like you immediately run into people, and I don't really care for the shooting as much in that game.
Yeah, so along with this, they're also adding in a PUBG event mode, which will double the assault rifle spawns in a normal game. So it sounds like they're trying to speed up PUBG to be more like Fortnite.
They're trying to make it more arcadey.
Yeah, make it a little bit more arcadey. Which is what I don't like about Fortnite, is just it's so fast, it's so action-based.
Exactly.
I
I mean,
like
I
the
like having the
tension.
option. Like,
Yeah,
that,
sure.
I mean, Fortnite, that's all you have. So this would be, you know, if you want to play on this map with that event, cool.
Sure.
Otherwise, you can do the normal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird. Like, this is such a weird story between the two. Because you have the back history of PUBG, and then you have this Fortnite thing, which wasn't a thing for a long time, and then it finally became a thing. And then it just ripped off this other thing that became super popular, and apparently they made it in 2 months, and they're like bragging about it. And now PUBG is trying to ape that, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing.
We live in weird times, y'all, as far as games are concerned.
When the copycats copy the copycats.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a friend of mine has been playing Fortnite, and he's really enjoying that over PUBG. So like, I might be playing more games of Fortnite in the future. So
I don't like like you said, it feels too frantic, and like it feels like you can't hide. So it's like you just have to stay moving, and it's a smaller map, so there's people everywhere.
It's fun.
And it kind of ruins that. Like, I don't see the point in collecting things. You're just gonna run into someone immediately.
Yeah, it's so weird though, because he's like he always touts about, oh, I love playing snipers. Like, sniper classes are fun, and I'm like, dude, that's the whole thing in PUBG, is like to be a great sniper. And now you're like the opposite. You're just like running around with an assault rifle shooting at dudes. Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, tastes. It's so weird. Speaking of taste, Activision wants to explore the idea of a Spyro the Dragon MMO.
It looked so gross.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back classic Spyro. I miss him. He was cute.
Would you ever want to play a Spyro MMO?
No.
No? Why not?
Like,
tain't natural.
I mean, the whole point of Spyro, I get it, is like just to grab dragon eggs and, you know, take them back. Like, that is an MMO loop in the first place. But you're at least going through different platforming worlds. In MMOs, it's probably just like collect this thing and bring it back. There's not really the depth to that, especially when it looked like it was a top-down, like very generic-looking engine.
Yeah.
Plus ugly adult dragons.
Yeah. Spyro's it's so weird to try and think of it as a different genre other than platformer.
Yeah.
That's where
I mean, even like the top-down games on Game Boy Advance, I thought were great. Like, I'm not saying it has to be like the traditional Spyro experience, but for one, Spyro is the Peter Pan of dragons. He never needs to grow up. And two, like, it's just, why would you shoehorn a property into an MMO? It hasn't worked with anything else. Like, the Star Trek MMO was garbage. Even though it's still around, apparently, it just got a new expansion. The Lord of the Rings MMO was garbage and died. Like, Final Fantasy's been okay, I guess, with 14, but that's an RPG already. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid. Don't do it. I'm glad this failed.
Speaking of classic characters we love, Sonic the Hedgehog. His origin story has come to light. Are you excited at all? Okay.
All right. Good night, folks.
No. So the question is, why was he a hedgehog? I don't know. The answer, it's a character you can imagine dealing damage by curling up in a ball and rolling around.
It's also easy to draw.
Yeah. I love the note that we wanted a character kids could draw, because oh boy did they get what they wanted.
Oh yeah, they did. It's actually funny because when I was a kid, I used to make pardon me.
OCs?
Yeah, well, kind of. But they were like little like Sonic the Hedgehog like sort of comics, but like each page was like a panel. And it was kind of like, it was interesting because if you were to like lay them down next to each other, it kind of looked like they were like running through a level of like Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was cool. And then just especially when Sonic 3 came out, and then nobody knew anything about Knuckles. I was like, oh, look at that guy, he's really cool. It'd be cool if he was a good guy. And then I started making little like comics of him and Knuckles teaming up and saving the world and stuff. And then next thing I knew, Sonic and Knuckles came out, and they were friends all of a sudden. So, anyways, I just thought it was funny because that was one of like the first like characters I kind of started like drawing. Just when I was like actually like, I was like, oh yeah, cool. I know. I just realized I can draw. So, so it worked basically.
Yeah.
Them wanting to make a character that's easy to draw.
Yeah. The article here is it's like a huge article with a lot of the backstory, a lot of like what do they call them? Like stills,
Blueprints,
storyboards, blueprints, yeah, stuff like that. So yeah. Go check.
I think I always find level design fascinating in games and things like that, because like everyone thinks like, oh, you can just throw some tiles together and make a level, but no, it's way harder than that. And so I always like learning how people kind of design levels to be practical, And so it's like it kind of becomes a formula where it's like as long as you stick to this structure, every level you make will, you know, be at least manageable, even if it's not good. And so, you know, when it says like a level map is assembled with 64 parts, and like they have kind of specific different pieces they would put together, kind of like 20XX, you know, how that's like created in chunks. It's like they have like they've developed chunks of levels and they just kind of fit those together to make a 20XX level. It's kind of like that with this, so that like everything makes sense for, you know, for Sonic to run across, because it's only made of those specific pieces that go together, and that's just kind of interesting to learn about.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. I'm curious why you haven't gotten a Sonic maker yet. Why can't you? Seems like it'd be a cool thing to do.
You figured Sega would try and rip that off, right?
Yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't. Like, I don't know what they're doing over there. But
making bad Sonic games.
Yeah,
and a racing game. Did you guys see that in follow up to the news last week? The Sonic account like quote tweeted someone that had like photoshopped in the rest of that logo.
Oh yeah,
and it said something like it was like Sonic the Hedgehog like renews his license at the DMV. Just going off of the R. And Sonic like quote tweeted that, basically saying like how dare you early reveal our games.
Nice. Sonic's just waiting in line the whole time. This line is too slow.
Gotta go fast.
Tapping his foot.
Yeah.
And then after 2 minutes, he just jumps off the screen.
Like they could put that like that little clip into a racing game. That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I'd love that.
Speaking of classic franchises that we love, Street Fighter TV series is coming. Street Fighter TV.
Oh, you're taking that story? All right.
Okay.
I was going to talk to Ben about it because he's probably the only one that cares, but that's fine.
Okay. Well, okay, you guys could talk about it there. I don't know. I thought it was a video game thing, so.
I mean, it is, but so is the Mega Man one, and you didn't take that one.
I don't know. I saw it and I thought it was interesting.
I put it there because, like, it was. He's the Street Fighter guy.
Yeah, we'll
like, you guys want to talk about Street Fighter? We can do both. I don't care. I have nothing to say.
No, it's all right.
Well, now it's awkward.
Yeah. See Charged Up for more on this story.
There you go. Thanks.
Okay. Oh wait, that's just your face. Okay, we got one last news story for today. I was looking at Lowe's. I was clicking around and I saw Lowe's face.
Surprise.
I'm news.
Last news story for today. Classic Nickelodeon games are returning thanks to THQ Nordic.
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob, Invader Zim, Rocco, and more coming soon to consoles.
I would totally play an Invader Zim game.
Man, I haven't seen Invader Zim, and like I always hear it's amazing.
Oh, you just haven't seen it. I thought you were gonna say you haven't seen it in a while.
I haven't seen the show at all. Yeah.
Pretty good.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
Full list of Nickelodeon series whose games the company plans to re-release are Avatar: The Last Airbender, Back at the Barnyard, Cat Scratch, Danny Phantom, El Tigre, Invader Zim, Jimmy Neutron, God, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Rocket Power, Rocco's Modern Life, Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants, Attack of the Power of Juju, The Fairly Odd Parents, The Ren and Stimpy Show, and The Wild Thornberries.
I didn't realize these were re-releases because I read something like they were having like a contest and like basically giving people all of their properties and saying, you know, create Nickelodeon games like in Unity or whatever engine that they were trying to promote. And I thought that's what it was about.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it says re-releases here.
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
You guys ever seen My Life as a Teenage Robot?
Yeah. Oh.
It was a very interesting show.
Yeah, there's a lot of very interesting shows here. I don't think any of the Jimmy Neutron games are any good.
Jimmy Neutron was kind of weird.
There's a lot of none of these games were all that great.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would play an old Invader Zim game. I meant I would play a new Invader Zim game.
Right.
They said modern consoles, so I thought it was new games.
Yeah. Yeah. Rocket Power. I think when these come out and people are like, "Oh yeah, I remember Rocket Power," and then they play it and you're like, "Oh."
This ain't Rocket Power.
Yeah, they're probably gonna try to cash in on like what was it, that Disney collection that came out a little while ago.
Yeah.
Like they're probably trying to cash in on that idea, but those were good games. And there's very few good licensed games, so maybe quit while you're, while people have forgotten you.
Like one of the reasons THQ went down is because they had all those licensed games and none of them were any good.
Yeah, they're just going back to their glory days. It's like, THQ went away. They were bought back up by Nordic. Then Nordic was like, no, we're going to be THQ instead, actually. And now they're just doing all the same mistakes THQ did.
Yeah.
Hey, let's put out all the properties that didn't sell. Hey, let's put out all their licensed games that were garbage. Like, stop putting money into these things that broke the company in the first place.
That Avatar game wasn't any good. Like, the only reason people bought it was for the achievements. It was an easy 1,000 achievement game.
I think some people liked it.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was still it was platinum, right? Like it was a good fighter.
It was a very simple action adventure game. I'm just glad I didn't pay money for it. That's all. Yeah, so that's the last news story. Is you can get your nostalgia fix from THQ in the future. Is there any other news stories I missed? Anything going on in the last 40 minutes?
No, that's what I was just looking into. There doesn't seem to be anything new.
Nothing new? All right. Lo, where can the people find your stuff? I'm mixing it up today.
Ooh, me first. You can find me on Twitter at Near the Hero, N3R0, THEH3R0. You can also find me on YouTube, Near the Hero, all with letters. You can also find me here every week with the Charge Shot Boys.
And Justin.
I am at Zero Score on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff. Yeah, pretty much just check out Final Fantasy IX and also the Metroidvania list that Lo is part of. We talked about our top 10. It's supposed to be a definitive list, but obviously there's wiggle room there if you guys disagree. But let me know.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter at CSG Thomas on Twitter. I have a Twitter.
Call back. Even this is getting caught first, so it's not going to make sense.
It's a call forward.
That's why you got to get on that Patreon page. Patreon.com/ChargeShot. You can also check out us at ChargeShot.com, where all our videos.
Silly normies have to just get our jokes out of order.
Yeah, messing everything up.
That's the value we provide on Patreon. Proper joke structure. And even then, it's just okay.
Yeah, ChargeShot.com is where all our podcasts and videos and written stuff is. And you can email me, Thomas, at ChargeShot.com. Until then, guys, enjoy your games. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.